Want to achieve network marketing success? Then you're in the right company. Hello, and welcome to Leave Nothing to Chance, hosted by networking marketing giant John Solleder. Learn everything you need to know about the network marketing space from somebody who's actually done it. Join us every week for front row seats as we feature some of the finest and most successful personalities in network marketing. Leave nothing to chance. Join us now.
Well, this is going to be a pleasure, my friends, introducing a gentleman who is a legend in network marketing, been in the industry a long time, and that is Mr. Rudy Neidhardt, all the way from beautiful. Are you in Switzerland or Germany today?
I'm now in Germany, and guess what? We have 28 degrees today. The first warm Celsius, please, okay? It's the warmest day this year already.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Blue sky. Yesterday we still had rain and hail, and today we have blue sky and 28 degrees.
Nice. Well, I'll let you enjoy the weather. I won't take too much of your time, Rudy, but let's just get started. What did you do before network marketing?
Before network marketing, well, let me give you a brief summary about myself. My first contact with multi-level marketing was back in 1974 in Pompano Beach, where I sold Mercedes-Benz. And before Mercedes-Benz, I was actually thrown into 50 salesmen at King Oldsmobile in Fort Lauderdale. And I had a person there which believed in me because I was ready to go back to Germany. And he said, no, you're going to stay. And I said, Richard, what do you want me to do? Richard Borkowski was his name. And he says, you're going to start selling cars. I said, what? I mean, I hardly don't speak English, you know? And he said, no, don't worry about it. And we went shopping and everything. Make a long story short, I started at King Oldsmobile in Fort Lauderdale, and there was 50 salesmen, 25 on each shift. And then there was this huge blackboard in the sales room, and there was the number 1 and the number 50. And I was on number 50, Rudy Neidhardt. So this is how I started, okay? And guess what? Even though that my English those days was British English, not American English, it was really funny because the people I sold cars to, they actually helped me sell them cars. They understood that my English wasn't that good, and they actually were helping me selling them cars. It was really funny. So then one day I sold to a manager from Delta Airlines 2 cars, and he said, you're too good for here. You need to work for Mercedes-Benz. And he made the introduction to Pompano Beach, and I started selling Mercedes-Benz. And the person which was coming into the showroom who bought 2 cars from me, his name was Richard. I'm not going to tell you the last name just in a minute. And then when you sell cars, when you sell a Mercedes, you have the first 1,000 miles and you have a checkup. So he was coming for the checkup, and he comes in the showroom and says, Rudy, I like to talk to you personally. And I said, well, Richard, I work shifts, but tomorrow we have time at 2 o'clock. We can go in the pancake house. He said, okay. So he was coming and we went in the pancake house, and he said, you know, I'm looking for a guy like you. I'm looking for young people, got passion, are good in sales, are good with people, understand and have love, and have the drive to change their life. And I said, well, Richard, what do you do? He says, well, I have a company and we're selling cleaning material to housewives, to American families. I said, really? I said, Richard, excuse me, please. You know, I'm selling Mercedes-Benz. I'm driving every day a different car. Presently, I'm having the 450 SL sports car. I'm living on the beach. I'm having a great life. And I mean, I'm on top of what I want to do. I cannot imagine selling cleaning material to housewives. And that was then the end of our conversation. And the gentleman who talked to me, his name was Richard DeVos from Amway. And those days, Amway was not the network marketing in 74 was not legal in the United States. As you know, the court, the huge court, or the highest court of the United States, actually passed the law in 1979, if I'm not mistaken, of making multi-level marketing legal. And 80, of course, Mark Hughes started then with Herbalife. But that was my first contact, and I just wanted to tell you how what type of opportunities you sometimes have, and then you start thinking about it later on. What would have happened if you would have said yes? Okay, so what then happened is that I was truly and permanently infected by MLM business at a Herbalife event in Los Angeles in 1980. That's when I met Mark Hughes, the founder of Herbalife, and the top motivator, Larry Thompson, in person. Since that time, I've been hooked in this business, and I've learned all the mechanism of this industry down to, I would say, to the smallest detail. Sometimes go back in your thinking, and go back to the roots, and not to forget how you learned and what you were taught. Despite of how the market has changed in 1992, then I was coming over to Germany, and I started with the German headquarter in Weiterstadt with Herbalife, and we were pretty successful those days. I was part of the millionaires team those days, and everything was incredible of what has happened those days in the European market, and that is actually how the whole thing started. Before, when you ask me what I've done, is I worked for Mercedes-Benz in sales and marketing. I started in Pompano Beach. I went to Jacksonville, Florida. From Jacksonville, Florida to Santa Monica. From Santa Monica to Beverly Hills, Mercedes-Benz. Oh, I forgot. I was also working in downtown LA, which was the biggest Mercedes-Benz dealership those days in the United States. I mean, can you imagine? They did about 80 Mercedes sales a month. This is unbelievable, okay? But then down Beverly Hills, Mercedes-Benz was then actually the mecca of Mercedes-Benz, and I was very, very thankful of having had that chance, because I've met a lot of rock musicians, and I was the German, and in California, people like Fleetwood Mac, Dave Mason, Rod Stewart, all of those names which people still know, with Eric Clapton as well. They were all Mercedes-Benz drivers. You know, they all drove Mercedes, some of them the 600, the short wheelbase, the others, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. These guys were driving Mercedes, I just remember. And I was at the first concert of Dire Straits at the Roxy in LA, and all of the English musicians were there, and there was nothing but Mercedes outside. So that was it. So yeah, but ML, also multi-level marketing, I got really deep into that in 1992 when they were in Germany, and I'm still passionate in that business, because my 4 decades in the industry, I'm still turning people into successful into MLM, and I enjoy it, giving advice, suggest, and recommendations, and try to prevent that they're making mistakes, or that their vision is focused, and that they know how to do and how to start. Because it's what Larry always said, and Larry Thompson is still a very close friend of mine, and everything I know about network marketing, I actually learned from him. And then, of course, as you go along, as time passes, new education and new impressions are coming into your life. But basically, the five, I call them the five um, S or five self concepts are still today the most important um, thoughts of teaching somebody coming into this incredible business concept. And I mean, I know you do know that, John. You know the first thing, the self-evaluation, when you talk to somebody new, that you find out where they're actually standing in life, okay? And then the next thing is that you do the self-determination. You're planning your way on short, medium, and long-term goals, and you go your way no matter what is happening. Okay, you got to put your mud flops on, okay, not to be distracted, and you run like a racehorse that way. And you got to get yourself a time span where you say 1 year you're going to do nothing but pushing yourself and building yourself and building everything you have with the people which you're working, because you're never alone. You're always in a team, and you work together in a team better than alone. And I mean, I was always very fortunate to have really good people around me. And then the self-discipline, okay, that's what I just said to you. And then the self-motivation is also part of the training. And when you have that, then you will also self-functioning. So I wrote a book based on what Larry has taught me on all of those type of facts which you actually need in order to be a good networker. And I mean, I have here an article. It was posted. It's in English. It's on my website. It's called Mens Sano in Corpore Sano, and it is a sound mind in a healthy body. Is a famous quotation from a Roman poet called Juvenal. Okay, and they wrote about me here at one of the major magazines in Germany. An incredible story. And here I have the self-evaluation, self-determination, self-responsibility, self-motivation, and self-functioning in it, which are the basic or the core rules of my mentor, Larry Thompson. Okay, so that's actually a quick intro about myself. And now it's you to ask the next question.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you've been all over the world, obviously, between Germany and the United States, but if you had to take your number one travel experience, whether it was for MLM, whether it was for vacation, where would the place be that you would go back to again and spend a month?
John, this is a really, a really tricky question. I have had so many unforgettable trips in my life. And you know, for the time when they happened, they were very special. Okay. And it's not like that you try to top it. You know what I mean? Like then there comes another trip somewhere else. And that in itself is then another evaluation in happiness, in education, in meeting people, in impressions and things you keep inside of you for the rest of your life. Because traveling builds people, okay? Because you meet new people, you meet new cultures. And I mean, the incredible deal was when I was coming back after, I mean, I was landing in the States in 1970, and I was coming back in 1992. In between, I had a few times I was visiting my parents, but 1992, I was coming really back to Munich. And I actually had to plan where my apartment was, what shops are from my apartment 100, 200 meters in a circle. Okay. I mean, I know I know California, I know Florida, okay, I know the Keys, I know Malibu, everything, San Francisco, but in Europe, where did I go? Nowhere, because when I was a kid, I was living in Heidelberg. I went to school there, so I had to start getting new impressions about how beautiful Europe actually is. Okay. Um, Italy, Spain, no, the Scandinavian countries, etc. When I traveled with Larry to Oman, when we were in Dubai for the first time, I mean, that is just as exciting as the first time when I was in Key West. You know what I mean? Or when I was landing, or when I was coming into Santa Monica. Santa Monica, when I moved there, I was in a restaurant and they had an earthquake. Hey, I never had an earthquake, John, in my life. And suddenly the whole restaurant was shaking. I said, what the hell is this? I said, this is a welcome shake for you, Rudy. I said, thank you very much. You know what I mean? Okay. It was every trip or everything which was new is exciting. Okay. And I cannot point now and say this was the number one. They were all in the time of where I was living in, was that at that moment, this was then exciting. Were there trips which were not as good? Sure there were. But the most important thing was that you moved, that you're not standing still. Okay. That is always, standing still is death. Okay. And for me, moving and doing things and challenging, use challenges in my life, whether they are in sports or whether they're in business, they are in my DNA. They're part of my life.
So why MLM now? You know, there's so many business options with the gig economy. Why should people look at the MLM industry now today?
Oh, I think between you and me, honestly, it's still the same. I feel it's still the same motivation or the same reason why somebody should look at affiliate marketing, because you are your own boss. You are what you earn is what you've done. Okay. And you participate on that when you have the right company you have selected, of course, for the rest of your life. I mean, you are your own boss, and this is a lot of times a handicap for people, that when they are suddenly not being taught what to do and they are on their own, that they are not disciplined enough to understand what it means to be on your own and to work a business, because multi-level marketing is a business. It's not a part-time, well, let's see what's happening, let's check it here. You know, those are those guys which are never going to do anything big. These are those 500 euro a month earners, okay? Because you know that about 80% of all network marketing, sales in network marketing of any company, about 80% of those people are part-timers. They do about 8,000 to 12,000 a year part-time. Okay, and they are important because they are making the checks for the bigger company, for the bigger networkers, or for those who have built those groups, because they're all being sponsored by somebody. So for me, whether it's my son, he's 26 now, okay, he's getting more and more enthused about network marketing, and has found out that it's not as easy as he thought, because his mom is very successful. She's working for a company from Utah, and she is turning about 1.5 million a month. Okay, she is living footloose and fancy free, and my son, you know, is living in her house and sees what the mom is doing, and he sees what his dad is doing. Okay, and he must have it in his DNA, but it hasn't clicked yet. You know, he's not switched on. But he's getting to the point, you know. So whether you are in my age now, saying, okay, I'm going to go into network marketing, it's because of people which don't how can I say it in best way to say it, who are not satisfied in where they are in their life. Okay, if somebody is 60 or 70 or 80, there are people with 80 years old, they are still starting in network marketing because they want to do something still. They're bored. Okay. And then there are people, they are 50 and they want to break out of the wheel, and say, I'm not yet finished in my life. I mean, check it, look at you. In 30 years ago, somebody who was 55 or 60 was old. How many people did something when they were 50 or 60? Yeah, the guy who did McDonald's, when he was 50 years old, he started McDonald's and built a billion-dollar company. But I mean, most people with 50, 30 years ago were retiring. And today, people which are 60, which are 70, which are 80, are still knocking, I don't want to say the word, it's not good in an interview, but they're still knocking everything down, you know. They still have the passion, they still have the power. And I mean, if you've ever been successful in this industry, it's part of your DNA. It will always be in you. It will never go away. Your selection of where you want to put efforts in, your requirements which you have, are different because you are in a comfort zone. Okay, so when you are now in that position where you and I are, yes, and we are looking at a new company or we're looking at a new challenge, then we have a different type of interest, and we are asking different questions as when we started the first time in network marketing. Okay.
So how do you get a new person started today? How do you get them jump started? How do you get them going?
I would just ask him the same question I did before. Are you happy and satisfied in your life? Or do you want to change something? Okay. Okay. If the guy says, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I love my 9-to-5 job. Okay. I like to pay my payments for my Mercedes every month. I'm making so much money. I'm working for a great company. Okay. And he's happy. I said, well, do you know that even big companies are laying off people? I mean, you have just seen the news in Germany. Okay. There's another huge company leaving Germany, and there are 5,000 free places suddenly. People get money. This is the other deal. You see, in Germany, when you don't work, the government, supports you. You know, we are almost on a point in Germany that if you don't work, you make more money as if you work. Okay, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay, however, what you earn or what you get through social support will never give you the life people envision. Okay, why are people playing lotteries? Because they always think they don't play a lottery to win 1,000 or 2,000 or 4,000 euro. They play the lottery because they want the jackpot. That's why they play. Okay, and they're hooked on it. That jackpot will never happen. Well, if you want a jackpot in your life, you got to make a decision. Okay, and if you make a decision that you want to change something in your life, then I can help you, as long as you are willing and open to work a plan. And if you have that feedback from the person you ask that question, can you imagine, like that question you wanted to ask me about, how did you call it? You wrote this to me, hypothetical question. Your hypothetical question, I had to think about, what does he really mean with that? Okay, but if I'm understanding you right, it is actually asking somebody if he can imagine to be in another position in his life.
Mhm.
He can be somewhere else as where he's at right now.
Well, here's let me add to that. Sorry to interrupt you. So here's a hypothetical. Okay. So, and you and I have sons about the same age, and you're a couple years older than me, but we fit this category. Okay. But
Yeah, yeah.
we're in the industry. But let's go back before COVID, right? 5, 6 years ago.
Ah, you mean you
The
mean
good
the
old
pest?
days.
We call it the pest in Germany.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Us too. It seems like it never goes away, right? But but uh let's just say somebody down the street from you there in Germany. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a dad, there's a son. The dad's about 60, right? So he's thinking, hey, you know what? I'm starting to get to retirement age and everything's good. I'm going to have my pension and I'm going to hit golf balls. I'm going to play with the grandkids. I'm going to, have the life that I worked all these years to have, right? In the remaining time that you have here on earth. And the 25-year-old, let's say he went to college, right? He got good grades. He worked hard in school. He did everything that he should do, started his career, and then all of a sudden, boom, pandemic happens.
Yeah.
Changes the 25-year-old's life, the 20 and the 60-year-old's life, right? Who were then 4 or 5 years younger. And they looked at guys like you and they said, we know Rudy's in that MLM stuff. He gets to work from home. We see him going to the gym at 10 o'clock in the morning. Boy, he seems to have a nice lifestyle, but we don't understand what he does. So we're not even going to ask.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, fast forward, all of these things have happened in the economies of the world, happened in the health of the world, et cetera. And they say, you know what? Rudy still seems like he has a really good lifestyle. We don't. And they come down the street here this afternoon and they knock on your door and they say, Rudy, can you give us 30 minutes of your time?
Mhm.
What do you tell the 25-year-old, right? Young guy getting started in life, right? In the business, 60-year-old on the other end of it. What do you tell them, same and different, in terms of getting involved now in network marketing as opposed to 5 years ago when maybe they thought, hey, that's not for me? What's different?
Well,
What's changed?
well, you already touched on your answer. What has happened with I call it the pest. Okay, you know what the pest is? This is a big disease like COVID, which happened in the old age, in the old history where everybody died. Okay, so this is really because I cannot hear the word COVID anymore because everything which is bad or every health challenge is always COVID, 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 and I mean so slowly, but more and more the truth is coming out of how much bullshit really was done and how many bad decisions were done to ruin a lot of people's lives. But what happened in MLM during the time of COVID is actually amazing because people had to think about new ways of communicating because in our business you need to see somebody. It's a people business. MLM means or network marketing is people love people. Okay, Menschen lieben Menschen. It's called an MLM. People love people. It's a people business. Now, what happens suddenly when you can't go out in front of your house? When you suddenly need to stay at home? Okay, then comes the home-based business deal. What has happened then? Other industries helped, like Zoom calls, like video calls. Okay, and I mean, I even know about there is a guy like Jim Rohn. Okay, I mean, you will never have anybody like him. But here in Germany, we have a motivational trainer which packs about 8 to 10,000 people into the in Munich into the Olympic Stadium for 2-3 days. What did they do, or what did other network marketing companies do? I think I don't want to mention any names now particularly. They did actually live events over Zoom, and they sold tickets, and they rented a huge stage, okay, with cameras, and they did a live event, and they actually reached even more people as before when everybody had to travel there and was live sitting in front of a stage. So the situation to answer your question, come to the point here, is the same question as before COVID. Are you happy in what is happening in your life presently? Are you open to change? If I could show you a way, okay, where you can earn X amount of euro active and build a part-time income where you are actually more or less free of having to worry about another, in quote, COVID, about another disaster in the industry, that your company is closing down and you're suddenly unemployed and you have to look for another job. I mean, are you interested if a chance like this would be there for you with a sustainable and a company behind it, or an offer which is based on a platform which is rock solid, okay? And there are the companies which are in business for 20, 30 years or longer, okay? You can still make money. And then even though that there are new companies always coming into the market, hey, the old companies which you and I know, they started someday also from scratch, okay? So yes, you got to look at them. However, I've got more careful, okay? I've got more careful in my life. And I mean, when I'm telling you right now, the most important thing in the time slot God gives me on this planet right now, when I'm talking to you now, is time and health. These are the most two important facts in my life. Okay, when you know what I'm talking about. If you are taking, you know, like when you go to IKEA, you can get them at the door. These are the centimeters, you know, like the how do you call it? Measurement band.
Tape measure.
A measurement band. Okay,
Yep.
so 1 to 100. Now let's say, John, that with all of the good products we have and all of the good companies we know, let's envision hypothetically now, okay, we're going to be 100 years before we die, okay? Let's say that. Then you take some scissors and you cut where you are now in your age. And I cut mine. How much do you have left?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets very little. And you can see it. And you say, that is the rest of your life. Now, what the hell are you going to do with that? So time and the right choices, and not to waste any more time. When you were 25 or 30, you rolled the dice and said, okay, who cares? But now you get a lot more careful. So if I advise people today to join into a company, I have to be solid in my mind that that is the right decision to make. And then I will find the right arguments and the right concepts and the right motivational thoughts to reach those people and to bring them then onto my team, because they trust me. You know, they trust my aura, they trust my passion, and they trust my honesty. And I'm going to tell them it's not going to be easy. It's not like, you know, ice licking, okay? This is not like you're going to, it's not like that you make money while you sleep. And then I always say to them, I even tried that once. You know, I went at night to bed, I checked my checking account, my balance in my checking account, I went to sleep, okay? And then I woke up in the morning and guess what? It was still the same. No, sometimes it was even less. So this making money while you sleep doesn't really work. But then you can get some other people, they're coming from the Bitcoin and crypto industry, and they said, that's not true, Rudy. Okay, I bought that at $500 and then I went to sleep for 2 years and now it's 50,000. So yeah, okay, exceptions in the rule. But what I'm saying is that to be in an honest, truthful business where you have the reins in your hands, where you can decide of how much money you want to earn based on the company which is behind you, okay? There is no other business better than for me than the traditional MLM affiliate marketing concepts and companies which are still in business after all COVID and all the other disasters, war in wars everywhere in the world. Look what's happening right now. We have everywhere they're killing each other, and we're still having a good life because you are working on a passive income. I have a passive income, and that is peace in my life, and that I can give to a person which is young, and I can give to a person which is my age or even older. Okay, because even somebody who is now, say, 70 or 80 and gets his retirement check, okay, what can he do? He can barely survive. Okay, so if people don't have property or other income streams, okay, this is what they call the old age poverty. It's a huge topic in Europe. The old age poverty. Die Altenarmut nennt man das in German, okay? There's so many people, they're just barely making their money to pay what they need to, what they need in order to have, even to just get by of living. Forget about going on vacation, forget about, buying something for yourself and for your wife or your loved ones. You're barely making it every month, and you're just waiting till the man above says, hey, it's time for you to change, come over to my university, okay, to my universum. So it's like just it's called ein schleichender Tod. Wait a minute, I tell you what that means. Ein schleichender Tod is actually what a lot of people are having at the moment. Schleichender Tod. It's actually a crowning debt. You know what I'm talking about? Schleichender Tod, but I wrote it wrong. Schleichender. It is sometimes, even though that you live so long in the States, a creeping debt. Hey, creeping, stupid. A creeping debt. Every day is the same. You go, you watch the news, then you go to sleep, you get up in the morning, you do your daily stuff, and you do the same thing again, okay? Day after day, in, day out, day in, day out, okay? Monday, get up, in the morning, get up, and that's the same as what my son is doing or what young people are doing, okay? They're getting up, go to work, coming home. Getting up, go to work, coming home. Getting up, going to work, coming home. 5 days a week. Then comes Saturday, getting up, party time. Sunday, party time. Monday, getting up, going to work, coming home. Going up, da-da-da. Okay, that goes on and on and on. Till the end of the month, hurrah, hurrah, the check comes. The check hits the bank account, and 5 minutes later, you are already basically in your dispo credit, okay? All right? And then you're chasing that every month. Every month is the same. Is that how you want to live? No. Okay, by most people on the third week of the month, their money is gone and they're already in dispo. So that's still the same. That hasn't changed, John. It's amazing. Okay, and when you look at that, then what other alternatives does a young person have if he talks to somebody like you or to Larry or to me who know all of that, who have the past experience? This is our strength, man. Our strength is our experience of what we have had in life. And the beautiful opportunity we have right now is that we can pass it on. Okay? When Larry and I were in Dubai, the people were sitting there, the young people, they were sitting on stage like this, and they're looking up, and they thought it was God talking to them. Okay, because young people there don't have the input, the impact of teaching people there. Their listen goes in here and goes out here. But as older as you are, and you are in front of people, as more value you have there. okay? And I mean, Larry and Taylor in Oman, unbelievable, unbelievable, okay? And this is unfortunately not in the European community. I don't know how it's in the States right now. A lot of times you get, okay, come on, you're now 70 years old. What the hell do you know? Like this. But then when they have a problem, okay, when they come to dad and they knock on the door, okay, and I said, well, son, you're still putting the feet under the table of your mother. Do you have your own apartment? No. Okay. Do you have that? No. When are you going to start taking responsibility of your life? Okay. That went on till now. So suddenly now he gets smarter and smarter and he starts developing. But a lot of other people don't have that passion, or don't have that security. Okay. They don't have a house where they can where they live and have their own room. They have to go out and they have to work. Okay. And it's not easy. So it's your decision. And the question is still the same. What do you want out of your life?
Exactly.
And can I help you? Yes, I can. I can assist you. I can give you recommendation. Like what I always say, I suggest, I advise, and I recommend. And then if you say to me, yes, you want to be part of my team, then I have to tell you, you need to follow what I say for a special time. And I let them still today sign a document where they sign that they promised me to do this, 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 and this. I still do this. I've got that taught from Larry, okay? Have them sign a commitment, and that I keep. And the first day he's slacking off of that, I say, come on, let's have a talk. Didn't you sign that? This you did not do, my friend. That you didn't do, my friend. That you didn't do, my friend, for a couple of weeks now. Now, if you're don't gonna change, I'm gonna cancel the contract. Then go and do whatever you want to do, because I'm not gonna work with you like this. Sorry. So yes, then you have to be strong, and then you see if somebody, if somebody believes in his dream, if he really wants to change his life, or if it was just a quick thought and he gets distracted because somebody else talked to some bullshit in his ear. Hey, what are you doing? This bullshit with network marketing, come on, forget about it. Okay, this stuff never works. So many people started, and and then people get distracted. This is what I said. You got to be like a racehorse with the mud flops left and right, and having earplugs in, and not listening to all of the negative people because never ever anybody wants you to be successful. Nobody wants you to be successful except people who love you. Okay, but the people outside you meet, okay, I don't in the United States you don't feel that as much as in Europe, but I mean, if outside my house is a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, or Ferrari standing, okay, I have more haters in the street than you can imagine. In the United States, people say, wonderful, great cars, you know what I mean? But here, you got to live with haters, and as more haters as you have, I mean, I love haters. I love them, as many haters. I definitely still today have a good group of haters, which are always criticizing of what you do. But when you look at them, are they living happy? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, it brings me to another question. Now, you've opened a lot of diverse markets. I mean, here you are, born in Germany, but you've worked in countries like Oman and Dubai, I believe, also, and other very, very different countries, obviously, where you're not getting off the plane and eating schnitzel and drinking good beer. I mean, like you've been in different parts of the world. So how do you take your knowledge, right, of network marketing from the companies you've been with, and translate that into foreign markets, in some cases where not only is the ethnicity different, the culture's different, but also in some cases, network marketing is a new business, like you talked about, because I'm fascinated with the countries that you've opened, some of which we've talked about, that network marketing was new when you went in as, one of the first people in a company to develop that marketplace. What was the strategy that you utilized?
I mean, let me tell you something. In Dubai, in the Emirates, network marketing as of today is still not yet legal.
Hmm.
And there's still but you do have very big companies in the Emirates, in Dubai. Okay. However, it's a gray zone there. Once you go, like people always kind of compared me with an icebreaker. Okay. Because I always love to go into new markets and open new markets up. But then, everything which needs to be done as administrations and stuff like that, I take like this in my hands and I throw it behind me. But then you need to have a team behind you who catches that and then organize it in order to support your energy, which drives you to the front. But in the Asian markets, okay, it's important, in my point of view, that you work with local people, okay, that you have people there where you're building yourself a core team, okay, and let them be your voice and work with them, those markets. Basically, when you're coming in with a company which is in business for over 12, 15 years, like the companies we know, and they're going to open new markets. It's not as easy anymore as it was 25, 30 years ago for companies which are coming outside of Europe into the European market. A lot of things have happened here. But basically, in my point of view, is I don't care what everybody says. If you want to go into a new market with a company which has reputation, which has great products, because without great products, you cannot sustain today anymore. I mean, there was companies, they had products there which were just a way that they are not being in an illegal money business. Okay, so they had like products for a special purpose. But those never worked, and those companies are all not here anymore. They had a big boost, and then they were collapsed. Look at what happened with Monavi as an example. Okay, So when you have a company which has products which are patented, when you have a company which have products which are really doing something for people, and you have then and you then come into a new market, you have to make a lot of noise. You have to let the market know that you are coming. You can't slide in there and say, let's try it. Okay, let's see what's happening. Oh, first we have to do some business in the market before the company now invests some money. Forget about it. Never, ever, ever will that work. That was the old days. Okay, that's what was said before. Oh, we got to get first a couple leaders there. We're going to do this and do so. Forget it. No way. If you're coming into a market today, you got to do your homework. You got to make a lot of noise, but then you got to plan carefully, and you got to obey by the rules. You have a lot of other things which you never had 30, 25 years ago. Data protection, rules and regulations on consumer protection. Your websites have to be perfect. Social media now will kill you instantaneously if you are making mistakes, because there are a lot of haters. They don't like you to come into countries. Okay, so these type of things are all to be considered if you open up a new market. And I have made a lot of mistakes in the past, and I know how they are painful. They were painful, but I will never make them again. Okay, it's like if you have a kid and he burns his hand on the stove one time, he will know that he doesn't put his hand on the stove anymore. You know what I mean? So you have to be in tuned into the markets you want to go, and you have to understand what is necessary there. Now in Europe, I've been pretty secure in the team I have around me, because I cannot do this alone. I have through my past, I'm very thankful of having met people which have grown with me, which are in the law situation, in the tax situation, in the business, for product development, product registration, PR, all of that. I have a huge, a close core team around me, which I can call, and they're there for me, because it was always a win-win situation, okay? However, if you're going into Asian markets, my friend, you need to be very, very, very slow and work with people there which you can trust and which can help you then to develop those markets. But basically, once the infrastructure there is perfect, then the same rules are required to come into the market. You got to make some noise. You got to make noise. You got to do events. You got to tell the people, hey, we are here. We are now here. And it's now, the time is right. The timing is perfect. The company is perfect. The chance is perfect. Now you need to be switched on. And now your core leaders need to learn how to switch on people and how to keep them switched on. And the dream is the fuel for somebody to be switched on. That's why we always say, don't let anybody ever steal your dream. There's a lot of stealers out there. They like to steal your dream from you, okay? And it's easy said. It's hard to protect your dream, okay? You know that. So the methods going into new markets are basically the same. Just the requirements have changed over the years, John, drastically. Okay, also in the States, I guarantee you that. So the European market is probably one of the lucrative markets in network marketing, but it's also the toughest to start. I always compare this with English. When you learn the English language, it's easy to learn the language, but as longer as you are studying English, as tougher it gets. Now with German, or Russian, now this is what I was actually wanted to say. It's tough to start, okay? Because it's not like in English, I am, I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you are, they are. We have, ich bin, du bist, ist, sie sind. Everything is different. So when American people learn German, they say, God, is this a difficult language? That's true. Russian is difficult to learn. But once you are over the hump, then it gets easy, okay? So, but a lot of people, a lot of companies in the past that were coming into the European market, they thought, oh, no, let's go to Germany, let's go to Europe. And then they started here and they got slapped a few times, and then they said, oh, it's just not that interesting, okay? And then they give up. Why? Because they didn't do their homework. Once you do your homework, the European market is a wonderful market. And you have no worries. And you can work and build your dream without any hassles. You got to know your enemies, in quote. These are not enemies, these are competitors. But nobody wants you to be coming into the market and taking people and customer power away from the market, because there are only so many people. So if you got already $1 billion player in the market, and now $1 million player comes in, the $1 billion player said, hey, one moment, please, okay? Let's see what we can do here, okay? But if the $1 million player did his homework right, the $1 billion player said, they know what they're doing. Welcome. And then they're going to work together, basically next to each other, because there is enough place for everybody. But there is not place for people who ruin our market, who are infringing illegal business practices, okay, and who are putting a bad image on our industry. For those people, I have no passion, and those people I will eliminate as soon as I can, and I will do anything in my power to do that. So, but unfortunately, you still have those companies, okay, and they're still trying the same bullshit they did years ago, and they come in like a big bubble, like I call it. These are, excuse me, my brutal English now. I call them fart companies. They fart, okay. They smell a little bit and then they're gone, okay. But they do more damage in the markets, okay, as okay. Now there's one thing I like to say which is good. People have been more educated today. I mean, today's time, because of the press, because of things you can read, a lot of YouTube videos, young companies, young entrepreneurs are coming into the market, and they have strengthened the reputation about affiliate marketing and network marketing. So it's not as easy anymore to bullshit people and to lie to them as it was years ago. People, in my point of view, are a lot more educated in the field of affiliate marketing or network marketing today.
Absolutely.
So, but what happened is then they're also not benching off of what they require. So if you want to get somebody to join a company, the company has to do their homework. If the homework is done, no problem. You know, that's what I'm talking about. The chance of, like I said this to you before, you know, it's always like the pyramid on the top. Okay, you have the pyramid like this. This is the traditional business structure. The chairman of the board sits on top, and then down here all the other people. If you turn it around, your first position, everybody signs up in a network marketing company, buys a starter kit, okay, and then it goes like this, and there is no roof on the top. You can achieve whatever you want to do, and we do know that you know people, I know people that when they started, they never believed in their life that they're going to do 300, 400,000 in earnings, or 2,500 a month, or 1,000 a month. They couldn't even imagine that. Okay, so the business is still in me. It will always be in me. And if I go to heaven, I will do networking up there. Believe me.
Well, I don't think you're going anywhere soon, because at 70, at 77, you're still doing. Are you still competing in triathlons, or just training?
Yeah, I do. No. I do small ones. They're called everybody's. They're called in Deutsch Jedermann Triathlon, and that means that you do 500-meter swim, okay, 22 kilometers bike, and a 5K run, okay. But you do that, bam, 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 okay. Then these are the. But be amazed. Like I'm in the AK 75. AK is the group for the athletes. Okay, so say if you're in the AK 60, people which are 60 to 65, AK 65, 65 to 70, AK 70, 70 to 75, and AK 75 from 75 to 80. Now, if you think that there is nobody there anymore competing, you are wrong, okay? I mean, these are people that train all of their lives. I still have colleagues of mine, people which I know, which are also competing. This guy still runs a 10K in under 45 minutes. Wow. Hey, and he is over 80, okay? So unbelievable. And there are people there. It's amazing of what you still can see on what they do on the bike. Okay, now I'm a swimmer. I swam all my life. So, but even I have still competitors over 500-meter freestyle. Okay, even though that this is my main league. I mean, I'm slacking, of course, on the bike. On running, 5K, okay. If once I'm competing, I'm about 35 minutes. Okay, I can do a 5K. If I'm really good, I do it in 30 minutes. Okay. And that is yeah, wait a minute. I show you. Wait a minute. I have I still have a booklet here. Look at this. This is my booklet, and here are all of my here's all of my awards in it. Here are my my results.
Wow.
Okay, and here, this was last one was this thing, triathlon here, senior. Here, I was this was when I was 65 to 69, AK 65, third place. I did 1 hour, 18 minutes and 25, 1:18:25. Oh, and here I did the 5K in 28:10. And I was when I swam the 500 meter, I did in 12:07. Okay, so 12 minutes. I did 500 meters. Oh, here I was 11 minutes, 43 bike, 28 5K, 5 kilometers run. Also AK 65. And here, senior place number 2 in Hemsbach. This was the AK 60. So then here, yeah. So now I'm going to start this year. I'm in August. I'm going to do the next one. And it's just, you know, you do it for yourself. You know, you're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself, for your own challenge. Okay. And tomorrow I'm going to continue my running again. That's why I got my watch on again, because I work with the heart frequency, you know, band. And that is also something I like to share with you. A lot of people, they say, oh, tomorrow I start again running. Tomorrow I start again biking. Tomorrow I start again. I never stopped. I continue running. Even if I didn't run for 6 months, I continue. I don't say to myself, Rudy, you're going to start tomorrow morning running. No, I never stopped. I continue. This is also just a little word change. Okay. But I mean, you do, I mean, you know, you surprised me with what you do on a bench press. Unbelievable, man. Incredible.
Well, same thing that you know, it's such a good point. And of course, you know, our show's about network marketing and business, but at the end of the day, it's amazing to me how many elite business people, network marketing people, right? Because it's mostly what I interview.
Yeah.
They have something. In your case, triathlons. In my case, nowadays, you know, lifting. The old days, judo and wrestling.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's like high performers need to perform at a high level.
Always.
And to your point, we're not competing against, like for example, I still throw the shot put. The guy I train with was an Olympic alternate. He's my age group. He lives down the street from me. So I'm not even the best guy on my street, because the best guy in the world happens to live down the street, but I'm not even the second best guy. But why do I do it? It's a workout. It's fun. If I throw another foot or even another 6 inches, it's a personal best. And that's what I think guys like us, what we're wired to, and what our listeners, so many of our listeners are wired to, is push yourself to be the best you can be. There's always going to be somebody better. Right? That's just life, right? But at the end of the day, even in network marketing, we look at the super elite distributors that have made, you know, 50 million or 100 million or some ridiculous number. Hey, maybe that's never going to be you. But if you send your kid to a better school because you make that extra money,
Exactly.
you've done something.
I'm pulling
Let me do it. Let me do a fast commercial, Rudy, and let me do my fast commercial so my wife does not get me in trouble because she keeps reminding me. I keep forgetting. So you can get our books, by the way, Leave Nothing to Chance, like our podcast, Leaving Nothing to Chance, in English and Spanish, or Moving Up 2020, which was written at about the worst time you could write a book, Rudy. 2020, I come out with a book. Gee, a little something else happening, right? So let me come back to one last question for you. I know you're up against a dinner meeting.
Oh, one moment. I got to do some advertising too.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay, here's my book. Here's my ebook here. It's called the five success strategies of a network marketing legend, which you need to know. Success edition. It's on my website. Here's my book. I have 4 books which I wrote.
Well, you know what? We're tied because I got 4, you got 4. So maybe the next one we should do together.
No problem. I'm open.
English and German. What do you think? No problem. So that was my last question for you, Rudy. I know you're up against a deadline here. How do people get in touch with you? Because we got people that are in consulting roles in the industry. We got people who are top distributors. We got people who are just, getting started. And we've got, people that have been in the industry for, like ourselves, for, decades that listen to the show. Some of them have needs where, hey, they want to go into the German market, the Swiss market, etc. Some of them are, for whatever reason, they may want to get in touch with you. So go ahead and give me your website.
You have, my website is actually where you see a lot of history about me. It's Rudy, RUDI, Neidhardt, NEIDHARDT.com. Okay, I think you never seen that site. Do you see there are a lot of pictures, and it's in English also. I have different languages on it. And my email address is also my name. It's Rudy, RUDI, at NEIDHARDT.EU for Europe. And you got my phone number, my mobile number. I'm on WhatsApp. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Even though that I just got hacked, I lost my whole Facebook site and 5,000 friends. Oh, gone. No. Yeah, I just started. I now have already 100 again. I just built my Facebook site new, but my website is on, and you have my contact data. I've sent it to you, but I gave you just my phone number and my email, and no problem. And if somebody wants to get in touch with me, please have them write that they are contacting me based on our Zoom call today, that they're coming from you, from that I know where I can place them. Not just because I don't normally answer phone calls which I don't know, or talk to people I don't know.
Well, what we'll do too is we'll put it in the show notes too, also. And so just hang on one second as we wrap up here, and we'll just do a little housekeeping. I'll let you run to your meeting. I know you got coming up here. So Rudy, I just want to thank you first of all. It's been an amazing interview. So many years of experience. I didn't know, and I feel like I know you so well because we talk so much. I didn't know that Rich DeVos introduced you to the industry. I mean, talk about starting at the top, right? But it even shows, right? Because you said no to him at that point. I'm not going to sell cleaning products. What am I going to sell cleaning products? I'm selling Mercedes Benzes, right? So
But let me tell you something. There is a how can I say it? Alone that at that moment I said no to him, that is an experience or a realization which still is valid today. Once you talk to people which are satisfied in what they're doing, they are not open. Okay, so to answer another question from you, the first thing you do when you talk to somebody, I don't care what age he is, are you open to change something in your life? Are you or not? Mm-hmm. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with what you're doing? And if you got somebody who's happy and satisfied, you waste your time. You know that.
Wow.
Okay, but then important is that you never let a call or a talk like this pass without you having the contact data of the person you talk to and not give him your business card. You need to be always in control of the time you spend. So this is something today, what I do is when I meet people, okay, I don't give them my business card anymore. I ask them, let me have your mobile. They give me their mobile. I put my, I said, I'll give my address. I put in here. Now let me call you. So then I call them, okay? And then they pick up their phone and they said, okay. And now I have their address. Important is that you never, ever, ever lose control of contacts, that you need their contact data as well as they have yours. And today, with a mobile phone, it's so easy. I even take a picture of them so that I know who the people are, okay? And I have them on my phone. I said, this is this guy I met there, okay? And then most of the time, you have them also on WhatsApp. I mean, this is a great tool of saving contacts instead of passing on the old card like this, here, I'll give you my business card. Then you take your business card and then I don't even know who the heck you are, okay? So it's always important, in my point of view, that's one advice I like to give anybody on this call, always stay in control of the contacts you're making, okay? Because you never know when they come back. I mean, I have a lot of people in my past which said no at the beginning, and 6 months later they were part of the team and got to be very successful. So never prejudge and never say and never say it's not doable. Okay, and in German, you have this word nein. Okay, it's written N. But if you write it like this, it's because you speak German, I'm going to explain it to you. Right? N-E-I-N. Okay? It says, Nein stands for noch eine Information notwendig. Means Nein stands for another information is still necessary. Okay? So no is never no. It's no for the moment, but it can be a yes down the road. Okay? So Nein stands for that. Noch eine Information notwendig. Okay? And with that, I'll let you go.
Thank you, Rudy. But I wanted to say once again, danke, 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 my friend.
Leave nothing to change. You got it on your t-shirt.
That's right. Oh yeah. I got about 50 shirts like this. I'm always advertising.
I want one.
I get one. Okay, I got it.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Leave Nothing to Chance. If you want to know more about what it takes to succeed in the network marketing space, join us again next week for another amazing episode. For additional resources and to connect with John Solleder, visit leavingnothingtochance.com. Don't forget to leave a review, and we'll see you next time.